A very good evening and a warm welcome to Uctv News yet again. My name is Nora Sunday on this lovely 6th day of November. It is a Wednesday, and thank you for staying with us on Uctv News. We're starting off our newscast in line with the principle of Laudato Si for environmental stewardship. The Catholic Church, through the Justice and Peace Commission, has launched the Environmental Degradation Report. Now, the report, conducted in 3 dioceses, investigates the causes, impacts, and possible recommendations to safeguarding the Uganda's ecosystems. Now, at the launch held at Pope Paul VI Memorial, the Commission outlined immediate actions, including incorporating environmental advocacy that's in the clergy sermons and pursuing public interest litigation to promote the ecological conservation.
This follows Pope Francis' 2015 encyclical called Laudato Si, which among other directives requested faithfuls to take care of their common home, Mother Earth. The encyclical explores the intersection of faith, science, ecology, and also calls for a global response to protect the planet's ecosystems and ensure a sustainable future for all. In response, the Uganda Episcopal Conference's Justice and Peace Commission, together with other stakeholders like Caritas Uganda, expedited an environmental degradation research from 600 households of 3 Catholic dioceses.
The research was conducted last year, and it was conducted in Karamoja, that is Moroto Diocese. And in Moroto Diocese, we targeted the Tapach sub-county and Nabila Tuk. In fact, it was Moroto district and Nabila Tuk district. Then in Moroto, we targeted majorly Tapach and Rupa. That is where there is a lot of mining. Then the second diocese was Gulu Archdiocese. And in Gulu, we went to Amuru and Gulu. Then the third one was the Hoima Diocese.
At the launch of the research report, Dr. Emmanuel Kizaliba, the Executive Secretary of the Justice and Peace Commission, re-echoes the Holy Pope's plea for people to jealously protect the planet.
And the Holy Father says in this encyclical that we should not live as though we inherited this earth from our grandparents. We should rather live as though we owe this earth to the future generation. So it's like we are living in a borrowed. You know, when you borrow something, you have to pay back. So we have borrowed our living from the young generation. So we have to pay back to the young people.
It is upon this ground that he tasked everyone to individually emulate his practices of not only advocating, but also practicing the protection of ecosystems.
But also I would like to call upon you as individuals. You as an individual. To walk the talk, to do something. I can proudly say I have done it at my own level, as now Emmanuel Kizaliba. Because if you open the series that I always present at Uganda Catholic Television, you open one of the series, or almost every series you open, you find me talking about the environment.
Given that the study underscores the urgent need for collective action, the initiative's facilitator, Godfrey Letu, has commended the political authorities for effectively containing charcoal trade, which has been one of the adverse causes for deforestation in northern Uganda, and also urged the government to sustain it beyond the pursuit for votes.
With the government, there are different frameworks that we need to feed into so that we can improve law enforcement capacity and also promote transparency in environmental governance. Let it not be only for the benefit of getting votes, because it is not sustainable. But if it is for the benefit of long term, 50 years, 100 years from now, then that will help us in accountability, but also doing it transparently.
In the same vein, the Uganda Episcopal Conference Parliamentary Liaison, Frederick Semwang, has revealed the Commission's intention of undertaking public interest litigation in case the government doesn't heed to its prime responsibility of protecting the national natural resources, which is in line with the Holy Purpose plea of implementing environmental stewardship.
Because the duty to protect the environment is first on the state and then the citizens. But we have realized that there are areas where the government and local governments have not played their role, especially as far as enforcing the laws and policies that are in place which are intended to protect the environment. That means, as one of our strategies, we intend to undertake what we call public interest litigation, where we file suits, we file actions, even against the government and local governments that have supported or condoned activities that violate the environment. To us, this will go a long way to protect the environment by making sure that the state and the local government play their role, their cardinal role of protecting the environment. Because if we have many laws lying idle in the bookshelves, then it will be useless. That's why it is very, very important that as these laws are passed, they should be enforced. We should fight against corruption, against the public officers that condone abuse and violation of the environment. So that is one of the strategies that we are considering very, very, very strongly, that if we dialogue with the local governments, if we dialogue with the state, and there is no positive response, we have no choice apart from taking them through or by way of public interest litigation.
In a bid to raise public awareness, and as well rally the faithful towards the environmental conservation, the Commission intends to integrate environmental advocacy message into the clergy's sermons.
We want to use the structures of the church, we want to use the religious leaders, we want to use the priests, we want to use the catechists. So as the Justice and Peace Department of Uganda Episcopal Conference, we are working on a handbook. We are developing a handbook which we are calling an abridged handbook. It is bringing together the pastoral messages on protecting the environment, messages from the bishops, from the pastoral letters of the bishops, messages from the Pope that protect the environment, bringing them together with the civil messages. For example, if there are laws talking about the environment, how do they relate with the messages already in the Catholic social teachings? So we are having a handbook, we are going to come up with a handbook that is going to guide the religious leaders, and this message will integrate the two, the civil laws of the country and then the Catholic Church principles, which we call the Catholic social teachings of the Church that relate to protection of the environment.
The study's findings underscore an urgent need for empowering communities, fostering sustainable governance policies like poverty alleviation, sustainable energy services, education and awareness, and forest conservation. Joseph Kabale, UCTV News.
A new report by UNESCO reveals a surge in financial allegations used to target journalists, with 60% of 120 cases reviewed between 2005 and 2024 occurring in the last 5 years. This trend underscores the misuse of financial accusations to suppress press freedom worldwide. Masiko Ito, the UNESCO Regional Advisor for Africa in Communications and Information, disclosed these findings at a multi-stakeholder dialogue in Uganda, marking the 2024 International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists. Ito noted that financial crimes and money laundering allegations are increasingly being weaponized against journalists, particularly in Africa conflict zones.
120 cases UNESCO reviewed globally from 2005 to 2024, 60% have occurred within just the past 3 years, underscoring the growing misuse of financial accusation to stifle journalistic freedom. In Africa, 15 cases were recorded, with 9 of these occurring over the last 3 years. And the most common charge included tax evasion and extortion, and 9 journalists received prison sentences, with the longest lasting 12 years. According to data from UNESCO's Observatory of Killed Journalists, the killing of journalists in conflict zones is on the rise, with Africa having the highest number of ongoing conflict worldwide. And statistics report that over the past 2 years alone, at least 14 journalists were killed in conflict areas, and by the end of 2023, 47 journalists had been detained in 12 sub-Saharan countries for reasons linked to defamation, censorship violation, anti-state, false news, religious insult, or retaliations. Gender-based violence has also intensified, particularly in conflict situations where female journalists face distinct and serious threat. Yet, the African Union's commitment to human rights and freedom of expression through its Agenda 2033 provide a foundation of hope. And for the first time this year, we are celebrating the global event of International Day to End Impunity for Crime Against Journalists at African Union's headquarters on Wednesday, starting on Wednesday and Thursday.
A free press can expose injustices, corruption, or abuses, fostering transparency and holding perpetrators accountable. Second, when people have access to reliable information through the press, they are better informed to make informed decisions that affect their lives, such as voting, participating in public debate and discussions, and making choices about education, health, or other essential issues. Without press freedom, information may be filtered or biased, limiting the ability of access to information for citizens and ultimately inhibiting the ability to make informed decisions. Press freedom also promotes diverse viewpoints and professional standards, which is essential for countering disinformation and propaganda. Independent and free media provide sources that are verified, helping the public to distinguish between facts and harmful information.
Now, the Uganda People's Congress, UPC, has called on all stakeholders to prioritize peace to avoid actions that could incite violence during the Chisoro by-election campaigns. Speaking at a press briefing at the party's headquarters, the UPC spokesperson Sharon Araj urged security personnel to remain neutral to avoid any actions that could be seen as biased or favoring a specific candidate.
As we speak now, campaigns are ongoing, and the party is very much appreciative of the support exhibited so far by members on the ground and the people of Chisoro. As we canvass for votes for Mrs. Mebo, UPC is calling upon all party leaders, members, well-wishers across the country to come out and give all necessary support to the flag bearer to achieve the ultimate goal of winning this election. The party president, Honorable Jimmy Akena, will touch base in Chisoro to campaign for the party candidate, and it is on this note that we call upon all members, supporters, and sympathizers to join the president as we camp in Chisoro to canvass for votes. To the good people of Chisoro, we present you your own daughter, Ngabire Mebo, and ask for your total support in her bid for Woman MP of Chisoro District. Our party, the UPC, is a party which stands for people's well-being and social welfare as our priority. To all our stakeholders, we call upon a peaceful campaign and by-election in Kisoro district. All security agencies should exhibit neutrality in the ongoing by-election and stick to their responsibility to ensure law and order when called upon. All security personnel should have name tags and badge numbers for easy identification to avoid imposters disguising as security operatives as seen in the past elections. This is not the first by-elections UPC as a party is participating in, and good reasons UPC has won all the by-elections it has participated in, and Kisoro District Woman Member of Parliament is not going to be any different. We have our foot soldiers on ground. We have all our party leaders on ground. That's why it is only me and the Assistant Secretary General that you're seeing today. Much of the Secretariat is on ground. Cabinet members are on ground, apart from a few members of Parliament that are there to discuss a few issues that are rising in Parliament. However, they will all touch base, and we are committed to protect our vote. We are committed to canvass for each and every vote across Kisoro, and that is why as UPC we are saying our goal is to win and our goal is to serve the people of Uganda. As a party, we pledge to protect the votes cast at all costs and also ask all our voters to protect their votes and report any vote rigging with evidence to the personnel on ground. In most cases as a party, we have people whose job are to protect the votes. And we call upon the voters because they are the first respondents. If you vote, do not leave the polling station. Stay there and protect your vote. If you vote and leave, you're giving them a chance to steal or rig the election. But if you're there, you can easily monitor where the ballot box is going, who is handling it, and how it is being handled. And then we shall have a few people on ground that you can report to for quick response by the institutions that are meant to guard these votes. So as UPC we are saying, don't fear going in huge numbers, go and vote. We shall do whatever we can in our power, as we have done in the previous elections. We shall protect the Kisoro vote at all costs.
Well, and that's all we had for you this evening. It has been surely nice having you yet again on Uctv. We'll see you tomorrow at the same time. I am Nora Sende from the entire team behind the scenes, and we wish you a lovely evening and a good night.